Ladies and gentlemen, now I think most of us can agree that after Mutant Treasure Island, going straight into Mephisto's Hades Invasions, an event that's much grindier, and also where the rewards aren't as good and nowhere near as exciting, kind of was a little bit of a bummer, man. The event, it was alright in comparison to all of the events in the game's history, but it certainly wasn't really exciting, and I think it's very hard to follow on from the insanity that was Mutant Treasure Island. However, the November event looks really good, and while it doesn't look as good as Mutant Treasure Island, it looks like it could be a top 5 event in the game's history, and the rewards for it look really exciting on paper. And yeah, half of the points and milestones you actually get via doing a lot of content that you would probably already do as well, so I really like that. This event is very similar. If you remember back to January, the Squirrel Girl event, collecting acorns, this one you're collecting gamma radiation, and there is both a store which you can spend the gamma radiation, but also milestones based on the amount of gamma radiation that you've got, where you also get additional rewards as well. So to headline some of the big stuff before we talk about this event and how it works, there is a 5-star Awakening Gem crystal. There's also a fully formed 5-star featured hero crystal, and also I believe a total of 27,000 5-star shards on top of that. So combining all of the 5-star value, there's 42,000 shards worth of value, plus also I believe a couple of legendary crystals as well. And then on top of that, we got just over 5,000 6-star hero crystal shards. There are a couple of T4CC class selectors, and just loads of additional resources and materials scattered throughout this. So yeah, overall the rewards look really good for this, man. I love a month where there's lots of 5-star shards. An Awakening Gem is always very nice as well, so this does look like a very spicy month. But how does it all work? So again, you've got to get gamma radiation, and one of the ways to get gamma radiation is it's going to be in the monthly event quest. So doing uncollected is going to give you 150,000, Cavalier is going to give you 450,000. There are also shadow base raids, and we're going to talk about these in a moment. But if you remember the Squirrel Girl acorn gathering quests, where you had basically a gauntlet of characters that got harder and harder, and you only have 30 minutes to go in and kill as many as you possibly can, but you can quit out at any time. Shadow base raids are kind of like that, if you remember back to how those work. However, there's a little bit of a twist with shadow base raids, and we'll talk about what those two twists are in a moment as well. But again, doing legendary, you can get 850,000. Epic gives a max of 350,000 overall throughout the entire duration of the event. And when it came to the Squirrel Girl event, you were better going into legendary and getting as far as you can in comparison to going into epic. So yeah, that was how it was in that event. I don't know if you need to be Cavalier, I assume so, to go into legendary. So yeah, I think in order to get the really big stuff, man, you are going to need to be Cavalier for this event, but I'm not 100% sure on that just yet. And also there are additional gamma radiation via solo objectives, the special 7-day calendar, and also arenas as well. But also, via this new side event, there is going to be the brand new mechanic that they talked about on one of the roadmaps, Root, which is where you're rooted in place, but you can still perform any action, but you won't move from your location when doing so. So, for example, you can still dodge special attacks with dexterity, you can still parry, you can still use your own special attacks, but you just can't actually move. So, there are going to be different takes every single day on how this root is used in a slightly different way to give you a bit of a feel for it, and the difficulty has been tuned around these buffs, so there shouldn't be too much complexity going on around them, unless you want to take a swing at legendary, where an extra ring core has been added to keep you on your feet. So this is kind of a bit of a testing event as well for the root mechanic, and a first feeler for it as well. So I'm kind of interested to see this mechanic. It seems like it could be absolute hell to deal with in certain matchups and scenarios, especially when it comes to more complicated champions and node combinations. But yeah, hopefully it's going to be really fun in terms of its implementation, and hopefully it can also apply to the what is it, opponent as well. But yeah, I'm a little bit interested to see how Root works out and how much more difficult it is going to make stuff like legendary difficulty, for example. So yeah, a little bit curious about that. Again, we do have a shop as well where you can spend gamma radiation, and we'll talk about that in a second. But let's talk about the actual shadow raids first. Now, throughout next month's event, every single day that you log in, you claim one gamma gauntlet. So this is your entry token to the shadow base raids, and you open it up for 30 minutes, and you can stockpile these and kind of run them back to back. But there is going to be a rotation of 7 different themes, so very similar to like the Airwalker event in that regard, but hopefully again much easier and much less stressful than certain days on that were. So you basically have the choice, if you want to stockpile your gamma gauntlets for a certain day that would be theoretically the easiest day for your roster there. So I assume the experience in these raids, instead of being completely randomized like it was previously, is going to be the same for everybody based on like what day it is, I would assume there. So yeah, I'm going to be doing like YouTube videos looking at every single day on legendary difficulty, so we can kind of like work out what the easiest day is. So if you're not confident like going straight in, like wait a little bit when it comes to these if you want the easiest time, and I'll put out some info as to which one of these raids is going to be the easiest to tackle on. I assume they're going to be themed around like classes, I would imagine, and one of the days is going to be random, but again, I may be incorrect there. So that's how raids work. So you open it up, you got 30 minutes to get as far as you can. There are going to be a total of 10 fights, so you've got 9 in the boss. Again, very similar to the Squirrel Girl event, if you do remember that one as well. But you can quit out at any time and collect your gamma radiation based on the amount of fights that you win. Like every single fight you win adds gamma radiation instantly to your inventory. So if you can't fully complete it, there is no stress. You just quit out, and then you can try again the next day. So again, to break it down from scratch, there's a new raid every single day on a 7-day cycle, very similar to the Airwalker event, but they work like the Squirrel Girl event, where you go in, you clear as many bosses as you can in 30 minutes and try to complete it all, but you can quit out at any time that you're having a difficult time. Now, you get 1 gamma gauntlet a day. You can accumulate these gauntlets and use them for multiple entries into, I assume, the easiest possible raid for your roster there. There are only 7 of them, and yeah, if you don't complete it in 30 minutes, the path resets and closes, but again, you get the gamma radiation on winning the fights, so even if it does close, you lose out on any of the rewards that you've got. So yeah, just push as hard as you possibly can with these, and again, they're just kind of confirming that whether or not you manage to complete the raid path, you can still participate in the same raid path multiple times, so long as you have gauntlets to spare to kind of refire up the quest, reset it, and re-enter it there. So yeah, that's pretty damn good. But then we've got the reward store. So this, again, you get more stuff unlocked depending on your progression level. So there's Proven, Conqueror, Uncollected, and also Cavalier. So here, it actually doesn't say the cost, but in Conqueror, we got Legendary Crystal. There's one of these available. Also, like a few 4-star Hero Crystal Shards. You got 4,000 of those, so 2 additional 4 stars up for grabs, but only 1,000 5-star shards there. However, if we move down to Uncollected, there's a fair bit of Tier 1 Alpha. There's also 4 Tier 4 Basic, 20 5-star Signature Stone Crystals, 1 T4 Class Selector. So that's on top of the 2 Milestone ones as well, which is very nice there. Also 1,000 6-star Hero Crystal Shards. There's also 9,000 T5 Basic Crystal Fragments. Also 10,000 5-star Hero Crystal Shards. And also 27k T2 Alpha Catalyst Fragments. And then if we move up to Cavalier, so if you get to this level, unlock kind of the big rewards here. There's 54,000 Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst Fragments. There's also the equivalent to 10% of the T4CC, but all random there. Also 60 5-star Signature Stone Crystals, a really big stack there. 2,000 6-star Hero Crystal Shards, and also 15,000 5-star Hero Crystal Shards as well, and 26,000 T5 Basic Catalyst Fragments. So again, all of this stuff, if you have the potential to just clean out the store for like Uncollected and Cavalier, if you do all the milestones, man, like this stuff adds up like crazy. And then on top of that, you've also got all the milestone rewards as well. So 20,000 Ultimate Crystal, then it goes up to a 2 T3 basic, then you got 5 tier 2 class catalyst crystals, then you've got 1,000 4-star hero crystal shards, you've got 1 legendary crystal, 1,000 5-star hero crystal shards, a T4 class selector, 9,000 tier 2 alpha catalyst fragments, 250 6-star hero crystal shards. You need 700,000 gamma radiation to get the 5-star awakening gem, 850,000 for the T4 selector, and 1 million for the 5-star featured hero crystal, and 1.5 million if you want a bonus 6-star hero crystal shard stack of 2,000 there. So yeah, for Cavalier level players, I think it's going to be very achievable to get to the 1.5 million, but for other players, I'm not really too sure yet. I think Uncollected should at least be able to get the 5-star Awakening Gem. I think if there's no Cavalier restriction to entering Legendary difficulty, and if it's not too bad, then yeah, I think the 5-star featured crystal will be in grabs for most Uncollected level players, but again, it depends on the entry requirements and also the difficulty of Legendary as well. But yeah, I'm curious to see how this event shapes up, because on paper it seems like the rewards are really good. Again, a total value of just over 42,000 5-star shards via all of the sources added up, factoring in the 5-star feature crystal as well. 5-star awakening gem, just over 5,000 6-star shards, and loads of additional other stuff as well. So yeah, it's looking really good on paper, but as many of us know, sometimes with these events, man, they can look really good on paper and then in reality be a little bit rubbish, or look really bad on paper, and in reality they're so easy it's not really too bad. So yeah, I'm curious to see how this event shapes up, but it looks good. It just looks like a better version of the Squirrel Girl event in theory. But yeah, thinking about this event, I think one of the big tie-ins to how fun it's going to be is how fun the route mechanic is, because if we're forced to kind of, you know, battle through legendary difficulty with this brand new mechanic and it just sucks and it's a really bad time and makes every fight like so much harder, then that's going to be a lot more annoying. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to like wait and see with this one, but yeah, I'm excited for it, man. It seems like a fun challenge, some really good rewards on the line as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed the breakdown today, please do smash that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. But aside from that, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.